Okay, so number 6, n is greater than -2. Guys, recording. I have an open circle at -2 and then greater. Okay, now this is the backwards of that. So this is 6. So I have x is, and then I'm going to copy the end of the arrow, less than or equal to 6. Okay. Anyone have any questions about 6 or 8? Closed or open? Can you see the difference between the like open and the colored in? Okay. Number 10. The domain of this is all reals because it goes forever to the left and forever to the right. The range is y is greater than 0 because it's going to come down to the x-axis. It's going to look like it touches it, but it's not going to because that's the asymptote. Asymptote is where it flattens out, y equals 0. There is no x-intercept because it's not going to touch it. Remember, x-intercept is not going to happen. X-axis is hot lava. And the y-intercept, it looks like on this particular graph is at 4. So 0, 4. Okay, now we need to do the part where we find the equation. I didn't leave us very much room for that, so I'm going to do it up here, I guess. So I'm going to make myself a little table. And I'm going to start with this point that I colored in already, 0, 4. And then I'll color in a next point that I see that's nicer is right there, which is 1, 8. Okay, so what is the equation then? Y equals, what's the start? 4. And what's the multiplier? 2 to the x. Beautiful. Great job. Okay. I believe we're done with the packet. You guys can scooch the packet off to the side. I don't think we need it. I do think that you're going to want a ruler. So if you don't have a ruler, grab one. Yeah. Somebody stole it in my 4th period. So I'm just limping to the end of the year. So just go ahead and go.
Okay.
I think it was a particular student who kept forgetting to give it back to me. I think it was an accident. Yeah. He just forgot to put it back on the hook now. So I think now it's too much time has passed. It's gotten awkward. Do you have any extra pieces of graph paper? Are there not any over there? I don't know. I didn't know. I usually have it over there. I had something yesterday in my notebook and apparently I forgot to put it back. This is Roman. I like his tie-dye continents. Oh. I was just confused. I was like, I like that. Oh, continent. You can hang on to it for the period if you want. I think he likes math. He was helping me update Aries yesterday. Okay, so if you're wondering about the bottom of this, it goes to -10 down here. So if you could make your graph go -10, 10, 10, -10, that would be great. I took the whole page for this graph. Okay, so while you're drawing your graph, today we're going to start working on two variable inequalities. All of the rest of this chapter, we've done one variable inequality. So first we did the ones with just like X in it, and we plotted it on the number line. And then we did the ones with the absolute value, and those have two answers, and you either made the Baymax or the arrows go out. Okay, now this one is called a two variable inequality because it has an X and a Y. Okay, and instead of having a number line, you have a regular graph. So when you've got two variables, that means you need an X and a Y in your graph. So we have X, Y plane. Okay. I like these. I think they're very easy. It's very similar to all the stuff that we did all week. Yes. This is the last thing that you need to learn for the quiz. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do before we do anything else is we're going to graph the line. So we pretend that we have equals. Just like all the other inequalities, we're going to pretend it's equals. So we're just going to pretend that we're going to graph this. Well, we're not going to pretend, but we're going to graph this line. Okay, now, I want to talk about something real quick, but first we can just start by graphing this. So the y-intercept is 3. So I'm going to come up here and make a dot at 3. And then the slope is -2. So I'm going to go down 2 over 1. And I'm going to go down 2 over 1 a bunch of times. And then I'm going to backtrack it up. So any questions about what I did so far? Okay, now before you go ahead of me, I see some of you are going ahead of me. You're gonna get lucky in a second if you went ahead of me, but this is the moment where you have to decide if it's open or closed. So you remember how on the ones we did the rest of the week, if it didn't have the or equal to on it, it was open, and if it was colored in, it was closed. Okay, in this situation, you're either gonna have a solid line or a dashed line. So if you already drew your line in, that might be bad. It's not bad on this one, because you see how it has the or equal to, so that means it's gonna be solid. So if you already drew your line, you're okay this time. I have to tell you that, when I was in high school, when I was in this class, this was my number one mistake. I would forget to dash the line all the time. It was like my thing. So, just so you know, if you forget, you're not the only one. But what I want to do is, so I want to draw the line. Then I want to write. I want to write myself a little note that this line is going to be solid because of the or equal to. If that wasn't there, then I would have put my ruler there and made a dashed line instead. Okay. Now we're going to do something in our groups for this, but I want you guys to look at the point that I have. So usually we test 0, right? Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a bunch of points in your groups. And what I want you to do is plug them in and figure out which ones are true and false. Okay, so I'm going to start my work up here. I'm going to say -1, 5. We're all going to do this one together as a practice one. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the -1, 5, and I'm going to plug it back into the original problem and see if it's true or false. So I have 5 is greater than or equal to -2 times -1 plus 3. Does anyone have any questions about what I did? Does that make sense? Okay, so 5 is greater than or equal to, this is positive 2 plus 3. 5 is greater than or equal to 5. Is that true or false? True. And it's true because it has the or equal to on it, so that's an option. Okay, so negative 1, 5 is true. Just gonna put a little t next to the point I already graphed, negative 1, 5. Okay, now this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna bring your group a little strip of coordinates. You can work on them together or you can split them up between you. And you're gonna plug these in just like we did. Just work on the extra space around the graph. And listen very carefully. I want you to write on the coordinate if it's true or false. So just put a T or an F on it. And any ones that are T's, I want you to bring over to you. Okay, let me say this again. I'm gonna bring your group some coordinates. You're going to test them just like we did that one. You're gonna put T or F on the little spot on the paper. And the true ones, you're gonna bring over to me. So you're gonna like rip them off and bring them over. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm gonna give Peyton and Noah this strip because I took one off so you have less work. There's only 2 of you. The rest of you, I'm gonna give you those to split up. If you have 3 people in your group, you could have 2. Each person do 2. Split them up however you like. You can rip them apart if you want. Roman, like Roman here, that's why, but it's not R O A, it's R O. You can. You want to do that? It's up to you. You can bring me the list whole strip with the true and false marked, or you could just. I can mark. Yeah, yeah. So like this. So I would say this one was true. Yeah, this right here, same thing. You're gonna plug them all into that same thing. Bring me the true ones. Time to be focusing. Can you share some points with Mike? Okay. Then you can do these in the calculator if you want. When Mike passes it to you. You're gonna just take, so Landon, do you want me to explain it to you?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You think so?
Yeah, bring me the true ones, please.
They're on 10A. Maybe true if it's not on the middle. Or sorry, if it's not on the thing. Because I said, or sorry, because I got 1, 3 at. 1, 3. Okay, let me do the math. 2 plus 2. No, it's not. It would be 1. The y is 3. The output is 1 for the equation.
True. Put them in true pile, true. Thank you.
Oh, so sick of
Oh, you don't have to. I just want to see which ones are true and which ones are false. That was true, great. Either mark them or rip them apart.
it.
Do I have to show you? No. Thank you. I think it is true. Three. True, right? Yeah, okay. I thought so. Thank you. Thank you. They're all true ones? Excellent. Yep. You're perfect. How much longer do you guys need? Guys, who's still working? Okay. Okay, you guys, so what I want you to do is on your graph, we're going to add all of the true points. So start with this one. 5, 4. Shh. -1, 6. 5, 6. 2, 7. You're supposed to be picking up something here. 2, 4. What do you notice about all of these true ones? 4, -2, 2, 2, 0, 3, already graphed. 5, 2. You guys did a great job plugging these in. 3, 6. 2, 0. -1, 7. 4, -5 is already graphed. 3, 5. 4, 6. -2, 7, already graphed. 1, 4. Okay, that's the last one of those. All right. Oh, nope. I forgot about 1, 1, but he's already grabbed right there. Okay. So what does this tell you? Like, what are you thinking? What's your mathematical conjecture about? What? Well, the graph is not just a line. It's more than a line. So it's a whole region. And I could take any point over here and plug it in and get true. And I could take any point over here and plug it in and get false. I want you guys to think of this like your number line with your arrow. Your arrow is just going this way, but it's two-dimensional. So it's covering that whole region. Okay, so how do we represent infinite number of points? I don't know about you, but I don't feel like graphing an infinite number of points that work. Okay, in an inequality with one variable, we do it with an arrow, but with two variables, we do it with shading. Because this will take into account all of the points that we graphed, all of the points that we didn't graph, and then all of the fractions and decimals that we just don't want to plug in because we're too lazy. Okay, now here's my next question. How many points do I need to plug in to figure out which side to shade on? How many things do we plug in on a number line? You plug 10 different numbers in on a number line? We plug in one. You could decide which side to shade on just by plugging in one. You don't have to do a ton of them. You just need to do one. As a matter of fact, all I needed to do was just one that was not on the line. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. But to get your shading situated, I want to tell you, you guys did an awesome job at plugging those in correctly. Okay. Now this problem might look familiar. Yeah, I want to show you how to do it without all of the rigmarole we just went through, how to do it quickly. All right, here we go. By the way, just so you know, I'm registering who is being extremely rude to me right now. Just want you to know that. Okay, so example one, this is a two variable inequality. Step one, y equals negative 2x plus 3. Okay, so step one, pretend you have equals. And then you're going to graph just the points for the line. So up 3, the y-intercept, and then slope down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. Okay, now the thing about these is you need to pause right here before you draw the line and decide if it's solid or dashed. This particular one is solid. Okay. Step two. You need to test a point. You guys can pick any point to test except the points on the line. So all of those coordinates I graphed over there, you can't choose those because they're not going to tell you if you should shade on the right or the left because it's right on the line. You choose any other coordinate you want. What do you guys want to pick?
0, 1.
Any of those are great. 2, 2, 0, 1. We'll just do 2, 2 for this one. It can be anything. Anything you want, just not on the line. Okay, so we go back to the original. 2 is greater than or equal to negative 2 times 2 plus 3. Mike?
I was gonna pick 3, 3, but
That's fine. Go ahead. You can pick anything as long as it's not on the line. 2 is greater than or equal to negative 4 plus 3. 2 is greater than or equal to negative 1, which is true. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go to 2, 2, the point that I picked, and put a true there. That means that the other side of the line is false. And I want to shade all of the things that would actually work because those are all my solutions. So I shade toward the true. Now there's a reason that I really like these. The reason that I like these is because the graph is the final answer. You don't have to write a final answer like you do with the number line ones. You really can't write an infinite number of points down. So that's it. That's the whole problem. When you have it, yes. Okay, next one's going to be dash. So let's try that. Okay, so example 2, same thing, except for that I changed it to less than. So step 1, pretend you have equals. And this one is going to be dashed. And I feel like if you're going to make a mistake, it's going to be right there, just forgetting to dash it. I don't know. It depends on how many points the problem's worth. So if it's worth 3 points, then it'd probably be 1. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna do, did you suggest 0, 1? Okay, so now we're gonna do 0, 1, just for fun, test something different. You can test anything, just make sure it's not one of the points you already graphed. 1 is less than -2 times 0 plus 3. I like how you guys picked easy numbers. I like to pick 0, 0 personally if I can, because I'm just that lazy. But yes,
You can also put like 10, 10, 11.
yeah, you can pick anything, just as long as it's not one of these. Okay, so 1 is less than 3 is true. Okay, so I'm gonna go to 0, 1 and make my dot and then put true at that dot and false on the other side. And then I shade where it's true. Okay, so we have one more problem. There's an A and a B, and I want you guys to try these on your own. You're going to do exactly the same thing we just did. I'm going to freeze the screen so I can show you the answers in a minute, but that means I actually have to do them. Test anything that's not the ones you got. Okay, so don't look at the screen unless you're ready, but there's my answer for A. Yep, hold on, let me get my problem done. Second one. You don't know what the homework is? I don't think these are too bad, are they? Just remember the dashed. That's the big thing.